Hey everyone, welcome back to Citywide Bytes. I'm your host, Max Bowen. Now, for this episode, I'm very excited to talk to singer-songwriter Bernie Barlow for her recent release, Walking Around This Town. Now, I first came across this with a single, Brave, and absolutely loved it. So for this interview, we're going to talk all about that album and her many years working as a backup singer for artists like Melissa Etheridge, Sarah McLachlan, and the Moody Blues, and so much more. Plus, we're going to get a look at what's next for her. Enjoy! Okay. Well, Bernie, so to start with, just thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate this. I've been listening to Walking Around This Town. Brave was kind of the intro for me, and I just love the album. This is your most recent release back in October of 25. But what went into just creating this album?
So, when did I create the album?
Yeah, yeah.
I there's an independent label in Los Angeles called Blue
Mhm.
Elan, and uh, I am one of these artists that also makes a living as a side person. I sing backgrounds a lot for people in my career. I've done it a lot, so I could, pay my rent. And I started working for Blue Elan because I knew a producer that they were hiring a lot, who is actually the guy that he's made my last two records with me as well, Dave Darling. So the gentleman that owns the label was like, come on, Bernie, just make another record. So I kind of finally gave in. And I took a year to write the songs. And yeah, we released it last October.
Yeah, it's
And
really, really good. Like I love the overall like diversity of sounds. Um, so when it came to writing the songs and making the music, did you go into this with any kind of a plan, or was it more like just write whatever and we'll see what kind of works?
well, no, I kind of had a plan.
Yeah.
My plan was to call my friends that I wrote my previous record with and my producer that I did the previous record with. And I said, we put a record out in 2020 at the beginning of COVID, unfortunately, and it did make it at the end of that year into the top 100 Americana albums of the year, which, will buy me a cup of coffee.
Right.
But I was very grateful to get a little bit of recognition. We had gone
Uh-huh.
to radio with that record, and the label owner, Kirk, knew that as well. So
Yeah.
he was like, come on, make another record. So I called my friends and I said, let's write some songs. And so some of my local buddies and I would get together like every other Tuesday. Paul Trudeau and Lily Wilson, who I worked with. I sang backgrounds for Melissa Etheridge a fair bit in the like early 2000s for a period of time.
Hmm.
And I met Paul because he came in to play keyboards on live gig with Melissa. And also Lily was singing backgrounds with me for Melissa.
Hmm.
And we all three got along. And when we were working with Melissa, we would go and like write some songs on the side to try to pitch to TV and film. Paul and I and Lily and I. And then I said, "Oh, well, the three of us should get together." And it's kind of like siblings. So we don't really get to see each other because we're adults and we have busy adult lives. So it was an excuse to get together and hang out and write.
I love that. I love that. All right.
And
I want oh,
and
sorry.
and and we just wrote a bunch of songs and some other friends in Nashville and my producer Dave as well. I wrote with a few people.
You seem to know a lot of folks in music. You seem to know a lot of like musicians and producers. And I do want to ask a bit about the backing singer work you've done because I read that you worked for bands like Moody Blues, Sam McLachlan. You mentioned Melissa Etheridge. How did you
Mhm.
get into this kind of work?
Well, I had a record deal in my 20s
Hmm.
and it was with EMI and I was at a Christmas party and I was standing next to this guy and I'm like, "Oh, what do you do?" And he said, "Oh, I'm an actuary."
Huh.
And And I'm kind of curious. I said, "Oh, really? So you did the numbers. So of all the people that try to get a record deal, how many people get a record deal?" This was when people got record deals back in the,
Yeah.
you know, late 90s, early
Right.
2000s.
Different time.
And he said, "Oh, 3% of the people who try to get a record deal get one."
Wow.
And I said, "And of those people, how many of them are successful?" And he said 3%. And
Wow.
I know
That's
it was painful for me to hear. So,
yeah.
so while I was in LA, even though I had a record deal, I used to, when I was very young, like maybe 20, I hooked up with some really happening songwriters in town that were busy, and they really taught me how to sing in a studio. Like I thought I was a singer, but I didn't
Hmm.
really know how to do it. And these
Hmm.
guys took me under their wing and introduced me to their friends. So for about 5 years, I was cutting my teeth singing demos for like these really successful songwriters that had years and years of experience that I didn't have. So I learned from them. And then I had a
Oh.
record deal. And then I talked to the actuary and I was like, I should just keep singing for other people. So I just pursued work for composers or jingles,
Hmm.
movies, scores,
Yeah.
TV
Yeah.
shows, and there was a lot of work back then, and it was great. There was a whole industry for singers in Los Angeles
Hmm.
at the end of the 90s and like the 2000, 2010 time.
Hmm.
But now I don't know that it's that busy that way anymore.
Yeah, I would imagine there's been some changes over the years, especially where people can record from like anywhere in the world. Like you probably had to live in LA to do these things. Now you can live wherever, build a home studio, and just do it like that way too.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to make money from recordings.
Yep.
So
Actually,
you're better off singing live.
right. Well, like what you said about what the actuary told you, 3%, and of that 3%, and this is back when you actually could get a record deal when it actually
Right.
meant a lot. Now it's not as much, but wow. Okay. I want to ask about working with some of these big names, of course, like Melissa Etheridge, Sarah McLachlan, household names in music. Did you get the chance to actually meet them or talk to them?
Oh yeah, I mean, I toured with the Moody Blues from 2000,
Really?
2001 to 2009. I
Oh my
was
God.
I was in the band singing, playing a little keyboards, playing some tambourine, telling some jokes.
You must
And
have all kinds of like tour stories from these folks.
well, we were pretty busy.
Yeah, I'll bet. I'll
I
bet.
mean, the Moody's were very efficient. They
Mm-hmm.
had been touring for many years before I got there, and
Mm-hmm.
so we would work Tuesday through Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We would play every night, and then we would have Mondays off, and we'd go do that for a month, and then we'd go home for a few months,
Yeah.
and then they could do it again. So that was a really sort of there was it was very structured,
Yeah.
which made it easy. And they were on planes a lot, so we would base out of hotels. So
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty cushy for a
That sounds
while.
nice. Yeah.
Sarah's tour, I did a Sarah tour, Afterglow. It's like 2005,
Yeah.
2006. And
Mm-hmm.
she had another lady on a big part of that tour, and then she left the tour. I don't know why. But I did the North American part and Australia. And that was really wonderful music. I mean, I remember going to see Sarah at UCLA when she did her first record. My sister took me, and I remember saying to my sister, "Oh my gosh, that background singer is singing so high. That's just rough." And then I got that gig, but I really loved the music. Oh my gosh, I love her
Sure.
writing. Her
Oh
writing
yeah.
is fantastic, and her
Yeah.
production is really great too. And she had an awesome band that played with her on that tour. There's very high production value on that tour, so
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot from Sarah. She's a nice girl.
Yeah. It definitely sounds like the chance to get a real like crash course in everything about music, like production, touring, playing live, all these things. You can learn, I think, a lot from all these different people over the years.
Yeah, I have had a very, you make a good point. Actually, I never really thought about it like that. A lot of different areas that I got to really cut my teeth and really
Yeah,
figure out how to do it properly.
yeah. Did
So,
that
yeah.
help you a lot when you started playing out your own music?
So I never really, well, I didn't really get a chance to do the Redeemed record.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, COVID.
I was kind of stuck at home and I just kind
Yeah.
of gave up. I gave up. I didn't do anything. I was like, and my mother got sick. I had to look after my
Oh,
mother in my house. So, yeah, that wasn't, and I was like, oh, what a waste. And then a robot played one of the songs from that record. It was a duet that I did with Janiva Magness, who's a
hmm.
big blues singer, and we did a cover of a U2 song. And it's a really great cover, and I'm really tired right now, and I can't remember the name of the song, but you should
I
check it
love
out.
it. Oh, I would
And
definitely look that up. Yeah.
so this a bot played it, and so Spotify removed my whole album.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
and I was just like, oh,
What the
and then
hell?
and then Kirk's like, hey, I'll give you a record deal. So I was like, oh, well, at least I don't have to pay to make this one.
Oh,
So
that's heartbreaking.
yeah, it really is damaging to the artists
Yeah, yeah,
because with Spotify, the more work you put in there,
yeah,
the more the
yeah.
algorithm likes you. So
Exactly.
for them to just hold all,
Just
oh, it's
take.
heartbreaking.
It is. It is. All right. Well, then let us talk about something a little happier, and that is walking around this town. What are some of the stories or the themes that go into the music?
Well, so when I called my buddies and said I
Yeah.
wanted to write songs, I was like, let's just write about where we're at.
Yeah.
We're all in the middle of our lives. We have friends that are dying of diseases. Sorry, I know you're trying to be upbeat here, but I was writing about what was going on in my life. My mom was very sick. A lot of people think Stay Right There is a love song to a guy, but it's me driving to Arizona because my mom had a heart attack. But it's a great song. And I got to sort of pledge my love to my mom in that song. So that's nice.
Yeah.
It evoked an emotion.
I'll bet. I'll bet.
And also, we have to celebrate life because we don't really have a long time on the planet.
Hmm.
All these themes are swirling around me. I had a friend that I was helping who had cancer a couple of years ago. She's good now, but a lot of real life stuff.
Yeah.
My,
Yeah.
my kid went to college. I'm an empty nester. There's all sorts of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And my husband and I are like, okay, so you wrote a record, so now we'll go play it to people because we've been at home for a while.
Hmm. Hmm.
I was on tour for many years, and then I had a kid, and I stayed home a lot and kind of went part-time on
Yeah.
music,
Sure. Sure.
which I'm really grateful. Like, I'm very lucky. My husband was a pretty lucky TV composer, so he worked a lot,
Hmm. Hmm.
and we had a kind of an idyllic little life for a long time.
I like that. I
We're
like that a
very
lot.
lucky. We're
Yeah.
pretty lucky in LA.
Yeah. So is this sort of your like return to music with this album? Because like you
Uh,
mentioned, you did take kind of a break. You stopped because of COVID. So it's just kind of like, hey, I'm back.
well, I think I tried with Redeemed,
Yeah. Yeah.
and what that ended up being was it's a great record, and I'm proud of it. And Dave Darling, my producer, and I
Hmm.
got to learn to make a record together. So that was an interesting exercise. We were like, oh, okay, this is how we do it. All right. So then when Kirk said, do a record, I was like, I kind of want Dave, and we'll do it again. So we get another shot.
Hmm.
I felt we got a little thwarted by COVID.
You and everyone else. Yeah. I can recall when this first happened. And bands were like, okay, well, we're just going to cancel our shows for the weekend, and we'll see you guys next week. Then it's like, no, we're going to cancel our shows for the foreseeable future. You had
Yeah.
whole festivals getting shut down like months down the road. I thought, okay, well, this is really serious then.
Yeah, it really wasn't good for the music industry. And
No.
then, after COVID, then they had the actors strike. So that was painful in LA too.
Yeah, I'll bet. I'll
Kind of
bet.
shut down the industry, really.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Um,
Yeah.
but I do want to ask a bit more about the songs with Walking Around This Town. Now, we talked a bit about stories behind them, but is there one song that really stands out to you as like, this is the song that's kind of the most meaningful to me?
I think it's interesting you ask. I'm still trying to figure out and define what is the most meaningful thing to me in a
Hmm.
song. Is
Sure.
it the chords? Is it the music? Is it the melody? Is it the words? Um, on this record, when we were writing, one song that I kept coming back to was Don't Wake Me Up. That really relaxes me. I don't know
Hmm.
what it is, but something I'm drawn to in that song. And then performing live. So that would be listening. Don't Wake Me Up, I think, is my favorite one to listen to. My favorite
Hmm.
one to perform, I think, is Sorry.
Okay.
And it seems to move people. And
Excellent.
and I love the fact that I sing that in my falsetto in the chorus. And I had a guy, a podcaster, say to me, I can't believe you went to a falsetto in the chorus. And I said, there's this band called the Bee Gees, and they like did everything that way.
Oh, yes, they did. They were
And,
very, very good at that.
and so well.
Yeah.
And, 70s English rockers, huge influence on me.
Yeah, I'll bet. I'll bet. I
So,
mean, I could try and like do that voice, but I think something would probably break in here, and then that'd be the end of that for me.
right.
Um, so how did you sort of develop that kind of range where you're able to hit like the falsetto notes?
It's a really good question. During COVID,
Hmm.
my mother was with me and it was
Hmm.
Christmas and she sang Silent Night in front of the tree and we videoed the whole thing and she was quite frail and she's done it again recently and she has the most pristine, pure, beautiful falsetto. So I think maybe I get it from my mum.
Yeah, sounds
That
it.
that high part.
Hmm.
So probably just singing at school as a child. When I was
Yeah.
young, I loved Elvis. Like I'd be trapped in the corner of a room listening to Elvis. So that's definitely where the rock and roll and the R&B comes from.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then, but I also, I grew up in England. I loved Kate Bush, you know.
Yes,
So maybe it could be that too.
I like that. I like that.
I like all good music.
Right. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I'm really drawn to different genres as well.
Yeah. Does that mean for like future music, you might kind of play around a bit and say, okay, we'll do like a rock song, we'll do like a more folky song, we'll do something a little more mellow, a little more upbeat.
Well, I will say when we were writing, my producer Dave was like, "Okay, Bernie, you need to write some up-tempo songs, man. These are all like a little mid-tempo. You need something a little faster for the record." And one day I was up at his house and I was on a diet and I was on no sugar and I was running hot. I was
Hmm.
on fire. My brain was on fire. Poor Dave. And he was like, "Bernie, you're going a million miles an hour." And then we were like, "A million miles an hour, that would be a good song." And so then we wrote that in like 10 minutes.
Oh, I love that. Yeah,
We were
it's
so
always,
on fire.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love when artists say, oh yeah, the song just kind of came to me like out of like left field. 5 minutes later, it's done. And it's like, yeah, I love those stories.
Well, it was really Dave was teasing me because I was just, I'd just
Yeah.
woken up and yeah,
All
I
right.
was very clean, no sugar.
Ah, that is good, actually. That is nice. But yeah, it can definitely hit you hard. But anyway, Bernie, let us talk about what is next for you. Of course, you've got this album out. It's an amazing creation of music, but what do you have down the road?
Well, when I get off the phone with you today,
Yeah.
I am going to be studying.
Ooh.
Uh, Kirk, who owns the label,
Hmm.
he loves 70s rock and Americana. He's probably put out 200 albums on this label now, which he
Wow.
started about 10 years ago.
Hmm.
and he just loves artists and
Hmm.
music.
Hmm.
And he has these ideas that he likes to execute. And we're doing one next week.
Ooh.
And it is a tribute to a band called the Strawbs.
Hmm. Yep.
You
Yep.
familiar?
Oh yeah, I know them. Yep.
And he's got a killer band. He's got Grace Potter's rhythm section, Jackson Brown's
Wow.
guitar player,
Okay.
one of them, and another guitar player, like Val McLachlan and Adam Jimenez are playing guitar. Jordan West is playing drums. And he's got Sasha Smith playing keys. And I think he's kind of leading the band, Sasha. And then
Hmm.
he's got four ladies coming in to sing. Me,
Hmm.
Holly Palmer,
Hmm.
Vanessa Bryan, I think her name is. And I've been awake since 5. One more lady. Oh, can't remember.
Well, it
I
sounds like
apologize ahead of time, but
right.
it's
Yeah.
a lot of talent, a
she,
lot of talent.
she's probably watched like, hey,
Well,
but
there's Jordan, Holly, Vanessa. Oh, Jordan, the drummer. She's
there we
singing
go.
too. That's who it
Yeah.
is. Trick
All right.
question.
There we go. Exactly. That's your question. I like that. All right. Well, Bernie, this sounds amazing, and I'm certainly looking forward to hearing the new music. But for the folks at home, we've told you the whole story. Now, here's what you do. You go to Bernie Barlow, BERLOW.com. Everything is there. Follow the socials. Follow her on Spotify. Check out Walking Around This Town. It's an amazing song, amazing album. And what did you like the most, folks? What song did like? What song like resonated with you? What song did you connect with the most? And Bernie, certainly, thank you so much for doing this, and looking forward to our next conversation.
Right on. I'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon.
Thanks for
And
having
folks,
me.
of course. And this has been Citywide Bytes. I'm your host, Max Bone, and I'll see you all next time.